So I'm sure that you guys assumed that it was lies and propaganda when I said that I was not going to order more seeds. And if you did, you would be correct, because today I want to share with you guys my seed haul from West Coast Seeds, because I'm pretty sure I had just put up the last video on my Baker Creek seed haul. Then I ended up on West Coast Seeds and I was buying more seeds. I can't help myself. So I'm going to show you guys all of these seeds that I have and what ones I will be growing this year. I just planted a few of these because I was just doing a video on growing onions from seeds, the Red Wing onions. So these are an F1 hybrid. I grew them last year and I am still using them. We had some for dinner last night. They are fantastic. So they keep pretty well. Next we have these ones. This will be my first year trying these, the White Wing. These are also an F1 hybrid. So these ones are 105 days and the Red Wing are 110 days to maturity. So you want to get them started sooner rather than later. Next, I have the Kelsey onions. These are a big sweet onion that are actually supposed to store quite well. These ones are an open pollinated variety, so you can save the seeds from these, which is fantastic. And they are 110 days. So one of the reasons that I love sharing these seed hauls is because people obviously enjoy watching them, but it's also an opportunity for me to share my passion and my joy about the seeds that I'm getting and explain a little bit of the why I'm growing them. But also it's an opportunity for me to inspire you to try something different, and that just lights me up because I love seeds, and anything I can do to help encourage someone to grow some, that is just, I'm in my happy place. I will also put a link down below to my affiliate link for West Coast Seeds. You don't need to use it, but if you do, it helps me out a little bit and doesn't cost you anything. Next, I have these pole beans. These are the Lazy Housewife ones. I haven't tried these before. It does say it is an heirloom pole bean. It takes 80 days to maturity and it is open pollinated. Last year I had done a lot of the bush beans, and the difference is bush beans are going to be more like a determinate tomato and the pole beans are more like an indeterminate tomato. So it's mostly around when they're producing their fruit. So with a bush bean, you're going to get a lot of green beans all at once. With a pole bean, you're going to get them periodically throughout the season. I kind of overwhelmed myself last year because I planted like 54 plants the same day, all of them bush beans. So I was drowning in beans and didn't really know what to do with them. I don't like pickled beans, so it just wasn't smart for me. If you do like pickling beans, then that's a great option that you can go through. So for this year, I want to focus on growing the pole beans so I can get them periodically, go out, harvest some for dinner, and then have some a few days later. I got some of the Sugar Ann snap peas. Snap peas are my absolute favorite. You eat the whole thing, the peas and the pod, and they're just so juicy and sweet. They're my thing. So I haven't tried this Sugar Ann variety before. It's going to be my first time. 56 days to maturity, and it is open pollinated. So it does call out that this is an extra early variety, which is incredibly sweet. It's a shorter one, so it doesn't need trellising. So we'll see how that works out. Half the time with the snap peas, I just eat them out in the garden. They don't make it inside the house for dinner. They're snacks, garden treats, if you will. I have these scallions, the Red Beard. They are open pollinated, 40 to 50 days. They are really quick growing. They have those red stalks. It says to plant them in late summer to early fall, so it is exposed to cold weather. So these ones will not get started straight away. I will put a reminder in my phone of when I want to start those, because otherwise I'll get distracted and I'll forget. What else do we have? I'm gonna do the flowers last. Lots of flowers in this order, which is good, because if you haven't already seen on any of my other videos where I've mentioned it, I have got baby bees. So I am introducing mason bees and leafcutter bees into my garden this year to help increase the solitary bee population and hopefully help with the pollination on my fruit trees, because I have 2 little apple trees, espalier trees, and I am also this year going to be putting in a peach and a plum tree. Next, I have these Ramrod scallions. It's a white bulbing Lisbon type scallion, and it was a variety bred for England. 65 days open pollinated. And these you can pretty much direct sow outside. And these ones, it says to sow in the early spring, and then you can transplant 4 to 6 weeks later. I'm going to be trying some lemongrass. I haven't had this grow well outside. I have had a lot of luck growing it indoors hydroponically. I'm going to try it both ways this year and then see which one works better for me, because I do like having it. I like a lot of Thai food, so I enjoy to have it for cooking. And it says to sow indoors in late winter, so we're getting about that time. Actually, probably should have started it already. But you are not to transplant it outdoors until the nighttime temperatures are consistently above 10 degrees Celsius or 50 degrees Fahrenheit. I have this Butter Crunch lettuce. I love the Butter Crunches. Any of them. What other ones do I have? I had Butter King, Butter Crunch. It's just, I love the texture of the leaves. And it says on here that they have buttery leaves, and they do. It's that smooth texture, just very, very good. This one, it says, is very slow to bolt in summer, which is great because a lot of lettuces can go to seed very, very quickly if the temperatures get too high. Lettuce really is a crop that prefers to have the cooler temperatures, so plant it in the spring or plant it for later in the year. This one is 67 days and is also open pollinated. Carrots. Now, I have not grown carrots for 2 years. For some reason, I miss getting them started in the spring, and I say I'm going to do them in the fall, but then I get overwhelmed or something happens, and that's happened 2 years in a row. So I have bought all new carrot seeds, and I am 100% starting them this spring, and I'm going to do a batch this fall. I really want to share with you guys this new way that I found that really can help with germination. Stay tuned for that. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, and then you will learn how I grow my carrots. These ones are the dragon carrots. 60 to 90 days, open pollinated. They're dark red to purple on the outside and they're bright orange inside. I had gotten these from Baker Creek first, I think, but I wanted to try the West Coast seed ones because I like to buy from Canadian companies if I can. Not that I will ever stop buying from Baker Creek because they have the best variety I have found out of anyone. Then we have an F1 hybrid, 55 days. This is the Napoli carrot. Haven't tried this one. It says it's an extra early hybrid for cool season growing in spring, late fall, and winter. And it says that these carrots are incredibly sweet after frost. So there's certain things that are going to taste better if they get touched with cold. That's a lot of the brassicas and apparently also these carrots. I have another variety I'll put up on the screen because I can't remember, from Baker Creek, that actually is only supposed to be sown in the fall for winter harvest. Then I actually have another F1 hybrid. This is a 75-day variety. This is the Bolero carrot, and this one says it is the best storage carrot of all. Haven't tried it, so I can't say if that is true, but we will see. It's nice to have the varieties that can store longer so that you just don't have to go to the grocery store as much. And this one says it is sweet and crunchy and the roots are a bright orange. If you guys have not tried this pepper, I would suggest that you do. I ended up ordering it the first time from Baker Creek. It is my absolute favorite. It is light heat, very light heat, because I am not a heat person. The flavor that is in this pepper is absolutely unreal. There's two varieties. There's a yellow and a red variety. I have both. This is the Pequeno Red. It is a Brazilian pepper. The name means little beak. They're very, very tiny. They do have a lot of seeds in them. They're just delicious. I use it in so much stuff. I want to also dehydrate it this year. I want to try it pickled, and I will be growing both varieties. So highly recommend you guys try this one. And then I have only one tomato to share. This one is the Magic Mountain tomato. This one is an F1. I don't have very many F1 hybrid tomatoes. I have just these ones and the Sun Gold. And these ones are 66 days, so it's a shorter variety. These are a Campari variety. I'd seen these in the grocery store. I just picked them up the other day and had tried the Campari for the first time. I also picked up this pasta book. I'll put an image of it on the screen because I'm totally obsessed with making my own pasta this year. One of the tomatoes that she kept mentioning in the book for the sauces was the Campari tomato. I'll put a link to the cookbook down below as well because I just love it. Fresh pasta, one less thing I need to buy from the grocery store, and if I can use as much as I can from the garden to make the sauces, even better. That is it for all the vegetable seeds. Now I want to get on to all the flowers that I'm going to be adding. This first one is the laced pink Didyscus. Probably saying that wrong. It says it's good for in arrangements or bouquets. I can just picture so many hoverflies hanging out on this one. There's also a blue variety, but I wanted to try the pink one. Then I got some violas. This is the Rose Antique Gem. So it's pink and maroon tipped petals. They're very short, only 6 to 10 inches tall. Also seem to have gone on a bit of a cornflower craze this year. My mom had grown them. There was a video I did at her place on her small balcony in Toronto, and she had all the bees that kept coming to the cornflowers, so I wanted to introduce those. I'll put a link to the video with my mom up there. And those ones are to share with my mom. So these ones are the classic magic cornflower. And then I also got the black ball cornflower. This one was an interesting one. I have never grown it before. It looks very cool. So this is the spider flower. So it seems like it's very tall, 3 to 4 feet, with flower heads that are about 5 to 7 inches across, and they last from spring until early autumn. So it's kind of cool to have something that's going to be blooming in the garden all year. I got a new sunflower because you guys know I love my bees, and I love sunflowers because they bring them in. This one is the ProCut White Light. And the interesting thing about this one is if you like to do cut flowers, this one doesn't have a lot of pollen that drops, though it still has nectar that will bring in the bees, because I was kind of like, oh no. And then I read some more about it, and it does have that. So this will be my first time trying this one, because if you have cut any sunflowers and brought them in, you know pollen gets everywhere, which is also one of the reasons that all the pollinators like it. It'll be interesting to see with this one, because it does say it has the nectar and not the pollen. Do the bees go to this one as much as they go to some of the other varieties? Then I have 2 nasturtiums, which are edible. You can eat the flowers, you can eat the seeds, you can eat the leaves. They're kind of spicy. They look beautiful in salad. So I got this one, the Bloody Mary. It reminds me a lot of my favorite one, actually the one that got me to start growing nasturtiums, that I got from Baker Creek. I'll put an image of that one on the screen as well, because it's gorgeous. And then I found this one. It's the Tip Top Alaska Salmon, and this one, as if it wasn't gorgeous enough on its own, it actually has a variegated leaf, and I love anything with a variegated leaf. One of my big quests was to get the, what was it called? I think it was the Splash tomato. I'll put it on the screen if I screwed it up. But it was a Splash of Cream. That's what it was. Splash of Cream tomato. And it's a tomato that actually has a variegated leaf, which was just so beautiful. I found a few more after that, but yeah, very, very cool. And then, guys, I bought more poppies. I am going to be drowning in poppies this year, and poppy seeds, because one head off of a poppy will give you enough seeds for like a year. I will share with you guys the ones that I got. These are my first of the Iceland poppies, and I think I mentioned it in the last seed haul video. I don't really love orange flowers for some reason, so I was a little hesitant to get this one because it does have a bunch of orange ones, but it says it also comes with apricot, gold, tangerine, and white. So we'll see what comes up. And I wanted to try all the different types of poppies. Then I got these California poppies. These are the extra large jelly bean, and they are kind of frilly and a whole different mix of colors. It says it includes bubblegum pink, lemon yellow, and raspberry red. And these ones grow about 10 inches tall, so they're not very big. Some of these other poppies are like 3 to 4 feet. It's going to be the complete height spectrum of poppies in my garden. Then we have, these are the ones that made me love poppies, this coloring. These are the mother of pearl. These ones have like the dusty rose to muddy mauve and smoky strawberries to pearly white. So the whole spectrum, just absolutely loving those. And then I saved the big boy for last. So I got some of these Gigantium poppies. It says on here they have enormous seed heads. It says, we'll see if it's true, but it says they're the size of a baseball. And as bonus, they are full of edible poppy seeds for baking. There's going to be so many poppies in my garden this year. And if you missed my Baker Creek seed haul, you can check out this video over here.